Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. So here there is a passage and the passage gives us the direction that uh, the passage below is accompanied by a set of questions. We need to choose the best answer to each question. Well, let's look at the text. What does the text point out here? So the text, the work Perileithon on stones by Theophrastus, a student of Aristotle, remained authoritative for millennia. Perileithon was translated into Latin and some other foreign languages. Its interpretation of fossil was the most dominant theory in classical antiquity and the early Middle Ages, until it was replaced by Avicenna's theory of petrifying fluids. Succus lapidificatrix in the late Middle Ages. In the Roman period, Pliny the Elder produced a very extensive discussion of many more minerals and metals than widely used for practical ends. And then it continues and stated about how he is among the first to correctly identify the origin of amber as a fossilized reagents. So all such kind of a thing. So if you look into this whole text, the whole text discuss some of the main ideas. Like the first thing it's called as Theophrastus. Theophrastus Perileithon remained authoritative for centuries, shaping classical antiquity and the early Middle Ages. And Pliny, the elders' extensive discussions in the Roman period contributed to mineralogy, right? And it is also stated about crystallography, including the identification of amber's origin. The transition to the medieval Islamic world saw contribution from figures like you can talk about Al-Biruni and even Sinha, who wrote on the geology of India and made significant contribution to mineralogy, isn't it? Avicenna's theories such as the you can talk about Succus lapidificatus, uh, which is given here. Succus lapidificatus became influential in the late Middle Ages and contributed to concepts like the law of superposition and catastrophism. The theory of the earth by James Hutton in the 18th century, that is also one of the part, James Hutton in the 18th century. See, right. So further developed geological ideas in Europe, isn't it? So then it is stated about Shenkua, right? So Shenkua in China formulated a hypothesis on land formation based on fossil observation. So these are the main ideas indicating about different means you can say that writers who present their views or opinions on the different ideas. So on the basis of that, the whole text is created. The writing style is a scholarly and factual one. But the main argument is that geological thought has changed over time through the contributions of various scholars from different areas. The text emphasizes the importance of works like Perileithon, contributions from Roman and Islamic scholars, and the lasting impact of theories like Avicenna's, you can say that Avicenna's on later geological concept. It describes the progression of ideas from classical antiquity to the medieval Islamic world and eventually to, you can say that, Europe in the 18th century. Well, so these are the arguments and the main ideas of the text. Now let's move to the question. So what does the question point out? Which of the following represents a flaw in the passage? So when we talk about flaw, so which is clearly indicating about the fallacy or error. So which of the option creating an error in the passage? Let's see that the options which are pointed here. The first option said the passage suggests that the theory of the earth was entirely developed in the 18th century. Well, if you look into the option one, which is correct because it suggests that the theory of the earth was entirely developed in the 18th century, which is pointed, right? So the passage indeed suggests that the theory of the earth was entirely developed in the 18th century. Right. So, which is an oversimplification, as earlier ideas and contributions from various cultures contributed to the development of geological thought. Right. So, we consider that this would be called as one of the answer, which is pointed here. Now, but before that, we need to observe the other options 2, 3, 4. What does it indicate in option 2? So, option 2 stated the passage mentions the contribution of many ancient scholars but fails to provide a chronological order for their work. Now, this could be called as a means what? Not a flaw. Now, why? Because the passage doesn't need to provide a chronological order for the contribution of ancient scholar. The passage is more focused on what? Mentioning their contribution. So, mentioning their contribution to geological thought. To geological thought. Isn't it? Geological thoughts. That is what you would find out. Now, in that case, this could not be considered as the no, flaw to the passage. Now, look into the option 3. The passage presents the concept of uniformitarianism as a direct development from earlier theories without acknowledging its difficulties or complexities. Now, option 3 also is not a flaw. The passage acknowledges the complexity of the concept of uniformitarianism. It mentions the concept but doesn't oversimplify it. Doesn't oversimplify it. Right. Mm. Now, in that case, also option 3 is not a not a flaw. Right. So look at the option 4. It is stated the passage assumes that modern geological investigations must follow Avicenna's scientific methodology. So it is also not a flaw. The passage does not make any claims about modern geological investigation needing to follow Avicenna's methodology. It merely highlights what Avicenna's original scientific methodology in the earth. So in that case, you would find out earth or earth science. So therefore, we also consider option 4 cannot be the answer. So on the basis of the question, so the best or the most appropriate option would be one which create or represent a flaw in the passage. Right. So that's why option 1 will be the correct answer. Hope you understood. That's all. Thank you.